Hello, the esteemed leaders of the free world and conscientious individuals. We urgently request your support for a free and fair election in Bangladesh, enabling the people to exercise their democratic right to vote, without fear and intimidation. We thank the leaders of the United States and the European Union for their expressed support in this regard. Over the last decade, we have yearned for such an election, but could not, as we are suffering under what we perceive as oppressive governance by Sheikh Hasina's. The current regime is tainted by corruption, mismanagement, and the politicization of critical state institutions, including law enforcement and the judiciary, which suppresses opposition leaders and activists. Change is desperately needed. Regrettably, we doubt that Sheikh Hasina will ever conduct a genuinely fair election under her rule, given her past history of 2 elections rigging in 2014 and 2018. The politicization of the entire administration and electoral apparatus by loyalists of her party raises concerns. The opposition rightly advocates for elections to be held under a neutral caretaker government, a system previously agreed upon by all parties, including the ruling party. Unfortunately, this system was abolished without proper constitutional procedures or public referendum, constituting an unconstitutional amendment. This disregard for due process was evident in the 2014 and 2018 elections, with the unjust imprisonment of numerous opposition leaders and supporters, as well as a significant number of trumped-up cases. Recent coverage in the New York Times has shed light on these alarming realities. Allow me to cite the report's title and share some key points from it. Democracy in Bangladesh is quietly being crushed. The New York Times. September 3, 2023, the most active rivals to the country's ruling party face dozens, even hundreds, of court cases each, paralyzing the opposition as a crucial election approaches. Bangladesh's multi-party democracy is being methodically strangled in crowded courtrooms across this country of 170 million people. Nearly every day, thousands of leaders, members and supporters of opposition parties stand before a judge. Charges are usually vague and evidence is shoddy, at best. But just months before a pivotal election pitting them against the ruling Awami League, the immobilizing effect is clear. Leaders of the free world, please note that. According to Bangladeshi human rights groups, nearly 600 people have been forcibly disappeared by security forces since Prime Minister Hasina took office. Of these, the majority were either released or eventually formally produced in court as arrests. Dozens were found dead. Human Rights Watch has verified 86 enforced disappearances cases in Bangladesh over the last decade in which the victims' whereabouts remain unknown. Enforced disappearances by Bangladesh security forces have been well documented by international organizations, the United Nations, civil society groups, journalists, the Bangladesh National Human Rights Commission, and victims and their families. Under these circumstances, there is no way Bangladesh can have a free, fair and participatory election under the current government of Sheikh Hasina. Therefore, election must take place with the oversight of an impartial interim administration. Prior to proceeding with the electoral process, this caretaker government will reform the election commission and take the necessary steps to clean the administration for a free and fair election. Additionally, there will be collaboration with intellectuals, academics, and experts from diverse fields to create a new constitution, which will then undergo a referendum for approval. Bangladesh needs a new constitution to reform the governance system urgently. Key reasons include balance of power and accountability. The current system lacks a proper balance of power and accountability, especially regarding the Prime Minister. A functional democracy requires a system where no individual or entity is above the law. Checks and balances are crucial to prevent abuse of power. Judicial independence. An independent judiciary is essential for democracy, ensuring impartial decisions based on the law and constitution, free from executive influence. Allegations of political manipulation emphasize the need for a truly independent judiciary. Bicameral legislature. A bicameral legislature, with separate upper and lower chambers, promotes comprehensive and inclusive legislative discussions, representing diverse perspectives. This can enhance decision-making and democratic representation. Creating or amending the Constitution to address these issues and implement a bicameral legislature is vital for improving governance, upholding democratic principles, and ensuring a thorough and inclusive process involving all stakeholders. Thank you.